Hey, you're on the Bible Forum. I'm Warren Sprouse. I want to talk to you about some values and some perspectives on 21st century America. The Dow Jones Industrial Average broke a new record this week. It closed above 22,000 for the first time. I'm old enough to remember when it hit 10,000, and people said that's as high as it could possibly go. It cannot go any higher. It took the Dow just 107 trading days to surge from 22,000 to 21. Boeing shares have had the biggest points impact on the price weighting Dow, followed by McDonald's and United Health Group. The Nasdaq Composite closed flat at 6,362.65, while S&P 500 advanced 1.2 points to close at 2477 and change. And company hirings are up. The results showed steady job growth across a broad array of industries, from professional and business services to financial activities, construction, and mining. Businesses are expanding their workforces with new hires, indicating sustained job market progress that is helping underpin consumer spending, the biggest part of the economy. The ADP results bode well for private payrolls as well. What's going on? Well, America is doing what America does. Someone sent me an email a couple of weeks back. I don't know if it was titled or I gave it the title, An American Perspective. But these are interesting tidbits regarding the American scene. In more than half of all states in the United States of America, the highest paid public employee in the state is a football coach. Almost half of all Americans, 47%, do not put a single penny into savings. Apple has more cash on hand than does the U.S. Treasury. When LBJ's war on poverty began, less than 10% of all U.S. children were growing up in a single-parent household. Today, it's 33%. In 1950, less than 5% of all babies in America were born to unmarried parents. Today, that number is over 40%. The poverty rate for households that are led by a married couple, 6.8%. For households that are led by a female single parent, as well as the poverty rate, is 37.1%. In 2013, women earned 60% of all bachelor's degrees awarded that year in the United States. According to the CDC, 34.6% of all men in the U.S. are obese. I have taken to watching photos, pictures, movies, things, newsreels, people maybe coming out of a political rally or walking down a city street or whatever. It is hard to find people that are not overweight. They're in there. But you'll see a whole bunch of fatties before you see a few that seem to have it under control. The average supermarket in the United States wastes about 30,000 pounds of food every year. And approximately 20% of the garbage that goes into our landfills is food. According to one recent survey, 81% of Russians now have a negative view of the United States. And that's a lot higher than at the end of the Cold War era. One recent survey discovered that a steady job is the number one thing that American women are looking for in a husband, and discovered that 75% of women would have a serious problem dating an unemployed man. That surprised me. I have seen these women taking care of these men. And I just thought that they had switched over. Apparently not. Guys, pay attention. According to a study conducted by economist Carl Benedict Fry and engineer Michael Osborne, up to 47% of the jobs in the United States could soon be lost to computers, robots, and other forms of technology. 40%. You got kids in school, you got to push them toward technology or other things that actually are worthwhile. The only place in the United States where coffee is grown commercially? Hawaii. We import everything else. The state with the most millionaires per capita? Maryland. Gee, what's Maryland close to? Washington, D.C. One survey of 50-year-old men in the U.S. found that only 12% of them said that they were very happy. 12%, 50-year-olds. The United States has 845 motor vehicles for every 1,000 people. 48% of all Americans do not have any emergency supplies in their homes whatsoever. Even fewer have fire extinguishers. You're not listening to the radio. The Mormons are out on the radio and on television begging you to get their product, stock up on emergency food. Yeah, they're Mormons. Glenn Beck? Oh, yeah. What's the other guy? He used to be a senator in Texas. His son is now a senator from Oklahoma or Kentucky, I guess it is. Mormons, yeah. They know. They plan. Their theology involves a catastrophic event that they need to be prepared for. We don't care. If you have no debt and also have $10 in your wallet, you are wealthier than 25% of all Americans. $10. You're married, you probably can't keep that $10 all, but it's another story. By the time an American child reaches the age of 18, that child will have seen approximately 40,000 murders on television. And they are becoming more graphic. What does that do to a child? Desensitizes them. Once upon a time, we were the most loved and most respected nation on the entire planet. If you look close enough, you can still see many of the things that once made this country a shining beacon to the rest of the world. But if we are ever going to change the course of this nation, we're going to have to come to grips with just how far we have fallen. And we're going to have to find the reasons why and the people behind them, or it's going to get a lot worse.